and you're listening to Candidate Conversations on the WIDU Radio Network. I'm your host, Jay Reinstein, and today I have with me Dr. Lent Carr II, running for Congress in the 9th Congressional District. He's a Democrat. Welcome to Candidate Conversations, Dr. Carr.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. And I would also like to thank the WIDU and also your listeners across Fayetteville and the 9th District. My name is Professor Lent Carr II, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, educator, civil and human rights advocate, and a candidate for the United States House of Representatives for North Carolina's 9th Congressional District. Of course, I'm running because the people of North Carolina deserves a representation that is policy-driven. It needs to be morally grounded and prepared on day one with legislative solutions, not just rhetoric. Every major issue I'm discussing today is backed by drafted legislation frameworks that voters can review right now on my website at www.lentcaruscongress.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. Lent Carr, running for the 9th Congressional District. Talk about your top issue in the district that people tell you about when you're meeting voters.
Okay, well, the issues I hear most consistently is economic pressure on working families, the rising cost of housing, health care, and basic living expenses. Families they're working harder but falling further behind. In North Carolina, nearly 40% of households struggle to afford basic necessities, and rural counties in our district face persistent wages or wage stagnations and limited access to affordable health care. That's not just an economic statistic, that's a moral issue. My campaign focuses on concrete economic relief, protecting homeowners from displacement, expanding access to affordable health care, and investing in rural broadband and small business growth. These are not abstract promises. I've drafted a shovel-ready policy proposals designed specifically for districts like ours. So that's pretty much my framework there.
That sounds great. So if you are elected, what would be one concrete thing you definitely want to deliver to your district, again, District 9, during your first term?
Okay, so let me be clear. In my first term, I want to deliver federal investment in a rural economic stability and infrastructure initiative tailored to North Carolina 9. That means expanding high-speed broadband to understand communities, strengthening local health care access, and supporting small businesses and farmers who are the backbone of this district. Studies show that every dollar invested in rural broadband can return $3 to $4 in economic growth through job creation and new business opportunities. So my goal is measurable results, increased employment, stronger local economies, and reduced out migration of young people from our communities.
Great, thank you a lot. And again, talking to Dr. Lent Carr II, running for Democrat. He's a Democrat running for the 9th Congressional District. Now, one thing that is going on right now, as you know, in the federal government, a lot of gridlock. How would you be an effective representative rather than just another partisan voice?
Well, first, I want to be clear on this, and we must, face the facts. Gridlocks happens when politics becomes performance instead of problem solving. I believe in principal cooperation. I am firmly rooted in democratic values, but I also understand that effective governance requires coalition building around shared interests, economic development, veteran support, healthcare access, and infrastructure. As an educator and a professor and chancellor of ECI University and a policy architect, My approach is evidence based. I bring drafted legislation, economic modeling, and research to the table. When discussions start with facts and workable frameworks, it becomes easier to build bipartisan support. So the people of North Carolina 9 are not asking for partisan theater or theatrics. They're asking for results, and that's what I plan to deliver.
Thank you so much. Again, talking to Dr. Lent Carr, 9th Congressional District. What's a federal issue that you think hits home locally in North Carolina, and how are you going to address it if elected?
Well, first, let me just say that I am a proponent of health care for all. I believe that health care is not merely a luxury. Health care is a human right. Health care access is a federal issue that directly impacts families here at home. North Carolina counties to face shortages of health care providers in rural areas and rise in insurance costs are squeezing families as we speak. Nationally, healthcare spending consumes nearly 18% of GDP, yet many communities still lack adequate process. I support strengthening federal investment in community health care centers, protecting Medicaid and Medicare, and incentivizing doctors to serve rural districts through loan forgiveness and targeted grants. Also, healthy communities are economically stronger communities. Healthcare is not just a social issue, it's an economic engine.
Thank you again. One thing you often hear is about accountability. Folks get elected to office, and the thing that the resident citizens want is accountability. So how are you going to stay accountable to the people of North Carolina once you're in Washington, specifically District 9?
Well, I will first begin to answer that question in this manner. My current representative, Representative Richard Hudson, he's definitely failed us by not coming to us during these most harsh times. And so, therefore, I plan to be proactive. So accountability requires structure, not symbolism. I will implement regular district town halls, transparent reporting on legislative activity, and accessible constituent services that respond quickly to local concerns. Also believe in publishing clear progress reports so citizens can track what has been proposed, advanced, or even delivered. Representation in a public trust, the people of North Carolina 9 should always be able to see what their representative is doing and why.
Thank you so much. Again, talking to Dr. Lent Carr, running for the 9th Congressional District. He's a Democrat running for Congress. Finally, why are you the better choice for this seat compared to the other candidates in the race?
Well, I think that's axiomatic. I respect everyone who steps forward to serve. Democracy depends on participation, as we know. But what distinguishes my candidacy is preparation and consistency. I am a lifelong Democrat and public servant with a record of civil and human rights advocacy. My campaign is built on fully developed legislation frameworks grounded in research, economics, and lived community experience. In other words, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I came from the bottom, and I continue to work with my people, and I understand their pains and their frustrations at this time. So voters deserve a representative whose positions are stable, whose commitment to the district is rooted in residency and service, and whose platform is more than talking points. It's a roadmap ready for implementation. Now, I'm offering voters a solution-based campaign centered on people, policy, and principled leadership.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Carr. Again, you've been listening to Dr. Lent Carr II, running for the 9th Congressional District as a Democrat in North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today on Candidate Conversations.
Yes, and thank you so very much, Jay, and it's been a pleasure.
And until next time, you've been listening to Candidate Conversations. I'm your host, Jay Reinstein, and I hope you have a great day.
Here's a friendly reminder from your community radio station, WIDU.
You can early vote today from 8 a.m. till 7:30 p.m.
Keep in mind, in Cumberland County, there are 7 early voting locations: Kiwanis Recreation Center, Cliffdale Recreation Center, College Lakes Recreation Center, East Regional Library, J.D. Pone Recreation Center, Smith Recreation Center, and Stony Point Recreation Center. You may vote at these locations during the weekdays, 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
WIDU1600.com. We are WIDU Fayetteville. We do radio. Follow us on Facebook at WIDU 1600 AM.
NCN News, I'm Mike Rayleigh. In-person early voting for the 2026 primary election is underway and continues through February 28th. State Board of Elections Director Sam Hayes tells NCN News.
This year we had 88 counties that put forward unanimous early voting plans where they set their hours. Some vary on weekends, some vary throughout the week. We had 12 non-unanimous plans that came up to the State Board, and the State Board had to make that decision.
2 people were killed and 3 wounded during a shooting at a high school ice hockey game. It happened in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Julie Rantham was childhood friends with one of the victims.